and welcome back to another Marvel Champions draft with Villain Theory. Now, we are doing this draft to kind of promote the upcoming episode of Shadow of the Cast, where we're talking about the new article that was released, The Age of Apocalypse from Fantasy Flight Games. So, that's really exciting. If you're curious about that article, head over to Villain Theory's channel. I'll let him introduce himself. How you doing, Villain?
Hey, I'm doing good, and yeah, I'm really excited to talk about signature allies. We got in the article, we got Bishop, who's got a couple. We got Sidekick, which seems really good for them. So yeah, I'm hoping to win this one because I feel like you've won the last couple.
Yeah, I see. The trick is I go in, I create like 40 to 50 YouTube accounts, and I just go in and vote for myself. Yeah.
That would make sense.
I have to throw the rules out the window in order to claim victory. It's a personal failing of mine. But we are drafting signature allies. So these are the cards that come in the hero specific deck. And yeah, I don't necessarily know if we've put any more boundaries on them. I guess I will go ahead and say that these heroes are not necessarily the best sidekick targets for me, but I do think that these are good signature allies. Did you approach it the same way, or did you kind of come in and it's like these are going to be the best sidekick allies?
I just went for the signature allies. As much as I like Sidekick, I think that's a different topic. It's a card that's not out yet, so I've evaluated on who I think is just the best.
Yep. Nice. We are going to be doing a draft style draft, which means that I'm going to take a pick. Villain's going to take his first and second pick. Then we're going to bounce back and forth, taking 2 picks until we each round out 5 picks for a top 5, or top 10, I guess I should say, top 10 signature hero kit, our signature hero allies. This is draft 6, which is crazy. I can't believe we've done 6 of these, but even drafts means I get to go first. And I have to preface my entire pick, or all of my picks, but there's a lot of really freaking good allies out there.
Yeah.
I think that there's just some really interesting ones. There's some really strong ones. I I'm bouncing between this, my current pick, and Annabelle Riggs. I think Annabelle is, one of the top tier allies in the game. Villain, I just saw a flash in Villain's eyes like I have won this game. Like but so many of them out there. I think I really just have to go ahead and lock down Wong as the first overall pick. Wong is Doctor Strange's signature ally. You can exhaust him to do something. I think he can heal, or I don't actually know. He can heal or
don't
something.
even know what he does.
But the most important thing is that he can cycle the invocation deck. And since they nerfed the good old boy Cosmo, poor boy, saying that he cannot cycle the invocation deck, it's another way that Doctor Strange can cycle that deck of 5 cards to make sure that he has the answer to whatever problem is being presented to him. So put Wong out there. Maybe you need a Crimson Band. You really need that stun. You can use Wong to start cycling through the deck and help you find the Crimson Bands. I feel I don't know. It's a Doctor Strange card. It's gonna probably make its way onto the list. But I honestly think that he is one of the best signature allies, and also has a really nice symbiotic relationship with Strange.
Yeah, Wong is a really good one. It's tricky. Like what I've struggled with is how much do I rate like the signature ally in a vacuum, and then how much do I rate it with the kit
Oh
with
yeah.
the accompanying hero, which I've struggled with. So Wong for me was like I wasn't sure if I'd put him on the list or not because of that. But yeah, he is really good. Even the healing is sometimes useful, but yeah, definitely cycling that invocation is amazing. And put sidekick on him, give him side by side. Maybe he can do a lot of that. So I think that's pretty fun. Not bad.
Not
Not
bad.
bad. Mm.
Not bad. So what are you countering with your first and second pick?
Well, I'm going to preface, all my picks with the same thing. A bit like the villains draft, I had like 20 like allies I wanted for this. I'm like, I gotta pick like 5 of them. So that was painful. But I'm gonna have to go with Gambit signature ally Rogue. Rogue is very, very good. Normally she's what I think 4 cost, but you're never gonna pay that for her. You're probably gonna pay 0. You're probably just gonna, play her from your charge counters. She's got toughness, she's got really balanced stats. She can do anything she needs to. for 0 cost, I don't think there is a better card in the game, honestly. So yeah, gotta be Rogue.
That was my number 2 slot. I have though I have my top 5 list a little bit more prepared than I was last time, but Rogue was in the number 2 spot. I have no issue with that pick. I think that's an incredible pick. It's so easy to build up those charge counters. If you know Rogue is still in your deck, you're going to be hanging on to, 2 to 4 plus charge counters, dropping her. Even when I didn't realize she had toughness, I thought that she was an incredible ally. And then she comes in because, like, I think, this is when they switched toughness to below the text of the ability.
Mm.
And, like, someone's like, she has toughness. I was like, she's incredible. Yeah. Excellent first pick. 10 out of 10. Good job. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she also enables a team up card. I forgot to say, which is also one of the best team up cards in the
Oh, yeah.
game. Yeah, it's just she's very good. X-Men trait also very good. um, so got to go for my second pick, and I'm super torn here. There's two really fighting for this place, but I think this one is. I'm definitely gonna take the other one if I don't say it. But I've got to be honest. I feel this is maybe the more boring one, but I got to go with Vision signature ally. She's very cheap. She solves damage. She solves thwarting, and maybe the best thing, you can recur her with Hickory Branch Lane, so she can block for you and just keep coming into play. Just keep getting her drawn into your hand. I think she is. People joke that Vision isn't the hero. He's kind of just like a platform for Vivian. Vivian is the hero, and Vision's just there to like help out. And to me, that means she is. She's got to be my second pick.
Yeah, so she was probably who I was going to sub in for the spot that, or the void that Rogue left open. She was on my top X list, and we were kind of talking about this before we started the video, where we both went through our first pass of hero signature, and then there's like, I realized that I was putting like 25. I was like, okay, I need to refine my my criteria here. But I mean, Vivian is just incredible. 616 is fantastic. Being able to recur, that solves a lot of the thwarting. Very cheap. I like that pick a lot. So you're going for the cheap allies, it looks like.
Not strictly, but it just happened that the first couple. I mean, Rogue's expensive, right?
Yeah. Sure. On the cost curve graph, she's expensive. There you go.
It's not my fault she gets discounted.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, so with Rogue being taken, I am going to just slide my third pick up to number 2. I feel like I said that I wasn't evaluating based on sidekick, reliability, but I am not
Here we
100%
go.
sure that I think I may have lied there. I'm pretty sure a lot of these are really nice sidekick targets, but my number 2 is going to be Captain Marvel from the Spider-Woman aspect. Or Spider-Woman hero kit. 4-cost ally, 2/2. Whenever she makes a basic power, she can, or you get to draw a card. So she has 3 health, but there's a lot of ways to heal that, to keep her alive, and just put her down as an Avenger Mansion that also thwarts, right? So it's a really nice, inexpensive way to get some cards back. Now it's kind of a rebate of some cards, but cards in a card game is good. Captain Marvel is that second pick. What do you think about her?
I think she was the other character I was deliberating between. I think she's very good. That's very annoying. Even, she's not just card draw and like forwarding or attack, because Spider-Woman wants to play cards from different aspects. The more cards you get in the hand, the more you're likely to boost your stats with them. So it's just, she's an amazing signature ally, and I'm very annoyed at you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think her running kind of like a inspire presence, get ready, command team type strategy is just absurdly fun. You just have so many cards in your hand, and it's a good time if you can continuously ready her and like almost Voltron her as a target. But that means that I need to also take my third pick, and there's so many good ones. I think I landed on something that may surprise, well, I hope it doesn't surprise so many people out there, because that's probably not a good thing in a draft. It surprised me because it's more of a multiplayer pick, but I'm going to take Diamondback from the Domino aspect. So Diamondback is one of Domino's 2 signature allies. She is a 1/2/2, but she has an action where you can exhaust her, discard the top card of your deck, and deal damage to everything on the table equal to the printed resources on that discarded card. So if you hit jackpot, that's 3. If you hit a wild, that's 2 based on Domino's ability. But she is a minion clearer. The amount of damage, the efficiency that she can put out, especially in like a 4-player game where you have, if you have 10 minions out there, you're looking at a stupid amount of efficiency that can be touched by very, very few cards in the game. So I think in a solo game, she can be fairly niche in some of the situations, but she's also not the most expensive ally in the game. And so, like, I feel like Diamondback kind of edges out Outlaw, but just a dumb amount of efficiency. And if you're trying to run minion clearing, it's hard to go wrong with the Diamondback pick.
Yeah. So when we did the, I think it was Avenger Ally draft, I went for a couple of multiplayer picks and I got dunked on. People like, "Oh, Nelson swept this one," and I was like, "What?" So Diamondback was on my list though. I was a bit hesitant to mention her, but I think I think she's really good. With jackpot, there are ways you can like manipulate it. You can hit jackpot kind of twice if you know you get her like readied and things. You can do some just like huge, almost like kind of dive bomb style stuff with her. But
Yeah.
even just without that, you're often going to be hitting 2 across the whole table. If you're against a minion heavy scenario in multiplayer, I cannot stress how good that is. That is, I think she's way better than Diamondback. And even in a solo play, I sometimes find myself using her. I don't know if I'd say more, but definitely just as much. I think she's a very solid choice here. Don't think she made my top 5, but she's definitely a strong, strong contender. So very, very cool.
Nice. Okay, so you got 3 and 4 coming up. What are you doing to counter my incredibly legendary picks?
They were pretty alright picks. I mean, I've seen better, when I picked them, but no. So my you took Captain Marvel from me, but my 4 and 5 are still here. I
Okay.
think I've got to go for them. So I've got to go with Penny Parker's signature ally, Venom here. So
Delete that off
Venom,
my list.
Venom is one of those allies that kind of just wins the game. And if I can say that sentence and believe it, which I do, she's got to be kind of like top 5, right? So you have to pay for her with your interface upgrades. So you do have to build up to that, and then have her, or I think make the cool works with her. And you've got ways to get her in play. But if you get her in play with those beefy stats, like 5 attack and so on, you're just gonna basically wipe out anything you need to. If you want to recur her, heal her, you can get so much incredible value out of her. And a lot of people have been talking about her with sidekick as well. Now, she's not top of my list for that. I think it will be good, but just in general, I think she's good.
Yeah, 5/5 is dumb. Like, I mean, you can get some incredible stats, and it's honestly not that hard to hit her at that max. And even if you're not, she can come in and you can play, very little for her and get like, you don't have to use the interfaces to get the full utilization out of her. Like, if you draw her early and you need that block, or if you need flexibility or something, she's a fantastic ally to drop in at that part. But Venom, very excellent call. I'm adjusting my list now.
Well, I hope I don't take one of your other picks as well here.
I'm sure you will.
Repeat of the.
I'm sure you will.
Well, I'm torn between 2 here. There's one I think is more interesting, but I might take them as my final pick if you don't take them. So I'm gonna keep them in my pocket. I'm gonna have to go with what I think is my 4th pick as Winter Soldier from Black Widow, because she's kind of like Rogue, or he's kind of like Rogue from Gambit. So you can discount Winter Soldier to basically cost next to nothing, and there's very nice stats there. And nice stats reduced to basically 0 cost is a great combo. Clearly one of my favorite combos.
Nice. Yeah, I feel like your list is a very efficient list, and I'm a little scared at our cost discrepancy because I know that has messed with me before. Winter Soldier is an amazing pick. I think he went drafted in the Avenger Ally draft as well. He's just really solid and kind of similar to what we were talking about with Rogue. If you're playing Black Widow, there's a really good chance that you're getting Winter Soldier out for free, and getting him out for free, either that 2 thwart 2 attack really, really nice flexible pick, really, really efficient pick as well. So I like Winter Soldier. Nice.
Yeah, I do have to argue though. You keep saying I'm going for these efficient picks. I've gone for like 4 cost allies for most of these, you know. So
Sure. Yep. Yep. Your cost curve is way out of whack, man. I don't know what you're doing. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. So Winter Soldier was on my backup list, but not on the current top five. But you got me a little nervous here. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring my cost curve down a little bit. I'm gonna take Wolverine's signature ally for my fourth pick, which is Jubilee. Now Jubilee is similar to Vivian in the fact that she's a 2 cost, and she doesn't get stats based on what form Wolverine is in, but whenever Jubilee enters play, you get to choose an enemy, and then until the end of the round, you get +2 when you're attacking with Wolverine or Jubilee to that chosen enemy. So with a 2 cost ally, you can bring her in. She's attacking for 3. Wolverine's then attacking for 4 or potentially 5 if you have the adamantium upgrades down. And so it's a big, nice tempo boost for 2 costs. You can recur her multiple times, and that does stack, which I thought was wild. If you're able to get Jubilee in, command team, get her to activate multiple times, rapid response, now you're getting +4. It's a crazy combo, and it's a really fun thing to do if you have not tried that already. But cheap allies with a lot of damage. Wolverine wants to go fast, and this is another way that it enables him to do so. So fourth pick, I'm going to go with Jubilee. What are your thoughts on that?
yeah, I like Jubilee. You know, the first ever Wolverine deck I made was around recurring Jubilee because I think that is pretty much his most interesting card. I do really like, you know, the card draw one when you're attacked. Is that Berserker Friends or is that the
Yeah.
attack? Anyway, you know the one I'm talking about. But yeah, Jubilee's very interesting. She didn't make my top 5, actually. She didn't make my top 10, but she was a consideration. I do
Okay.
really like her. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know about that one, but I still think she's really good.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. And then since we are snake drafting, I get to finish up my list. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with what I already have up here. I'm gonna take the Captain Americat ally from Spider Ham. Captain Americat, 3 cost ally, 2/2/3. And then after he enters play, I think you have to incorporate this into a winning strategy for a draft. You get to give someone a high five, which just, I mean, if you don't win when you do that, at least like in an emotional sense, like, come on. But you get to give someone a high five. You get to place a tune counter on your identity. Now, those tune counters can empower Spider Ham's cards, or they can be used as wild resources. So really kind of get a rebate on that 3 cost, taking him down to, you get your money back. And then I think the most important thing is you get to shuffle a Spider Ham card from your discard pile back into your deck. Spider Ham's cards are incredibly good. You can run the Petulant Pig, which is going to get you more cards. You can run any of Swinging Web Pig to confuse and deal some damage. He's a flexible ally with the 2/2 stat line, and it increases his flexibility, being able to pick one of your signature cards, put it back into your deck for a future turn. So I'm pretty happy with that top 5. What are your thoughts on rounding it out with the Captain Americat?
Yeah, I really like Captain America. I don't know if it's gone out, if it will go out, but one of the videos we did together was actually a blind draft, and Captain America came up, and I like Captain America, and that cartoon trait he has. Even mean he works with team building exercise, even though he's not a web warrior, which you might have always want. And Spider-Ham's cards are so good. It's yeah, Captain America I think is absolutely solid, very flexible ally as well. So yeah, just he was on my top 10. He was one of my backup picks, but I was maybe considering him. Yeah.
Okay. So you got left with a pretty unhindered list from my drafts. So that's interesting. It sounds like we varied fairly, very far from each other. So what is your last pick? Who'd you save for the end? Is it a sleeper pick?
So I've got a few picks here, and since I guess I'm going last, I can talk through them a tiny bit here. So one of the ones I was considering is Nebula from Gamora.
She's
So
on
I just
mine. Yep.
think in solo, like basically in Maria Hill, but you choose the event and she's got the attack stat. I thought about Mantis for Drax as well, but I'm gonna round it out with a cool set signature ally. And I don't want any accusations of, cheap allies or anything, but I'm going to go with Black Cat here,
Okay,
who
that's
from
good.
Spider-Man, who is really honestly good on multiple levels. So she's a two-cost ally, and she's got low stats, but she doesn't take consequential damage on her attack. So immediately you kind of got like a permanent upgrade to deal damage ping toughs, and Spider-Man does struggle with that. Often he's defending, and then he's got like swinging web kick. It's very clunky in terms of splitting that damage up, moving it where you need to. But Black Cat helps a lot there. But what's also really good about her is when she enters play, you get to discard from your deck, and if they're mental resources, add them to your hand. So she can refund most of her entire cost, and then you have a net cost of one resource for her at the end of that, and then you've got this permanent ally, which I think is really really good.
Yeah, she's a fun Voltron target too because no consequential means that you can just command teams, and if you throw honorary Avenger on her, sky cycle her to infinity and just let her go. And it's a very fun strategy. I really like that we got to see some core set love here with Black Cat. She was definitely on my top. I had a top. I had 10 backups. But very good call. Very interesting. I like the top 10. I feel like I'm sure that we missed something somewhere. So if there's an ally that you're surprised that is not on this list, please let us know in the comments, as well as vote for who you think did better, who has the better top 5 signature ally list. Um, I'm really happy with the top 10 here. I think that this one turned out really well. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think we've got some really good ones. I think some of the early ones, we both kind of wanted, but then we've got some kind of different angles on them. And I think these are all really, really good signature allies. There's a lot of really cool ones. We've got some ones from, this wave, the X-Force, we got Core Set. They've stayed good, So, yeah, I think I'm really happy with this top 10 as well.
Excellent. Yeah, so let us know in the comments, as well as all of Villain Theory's info will be down below in the description. And if I remember, which I think I've done a fairly good job of doing, of adding the Shadow of the Cast episode link down in the description below. That should be out in the next coming days from the publication of this video. Thank you all so very much for hanging out, and we will see you next time. Peace.
Bye.